and after, you can say, winning the World War, we will get you free. And the freeness or independence was to them was dividing a piece of land into two different countries. For them it was a geographical division. For the local or for the subcontinent people, it was some kind of independence, the independence of ideology and the vision. Mean the subcontinent that has been divided into two big portions. One was standing with Islam in Pakistan, and other was standing with the Hindus and the Indians. And we were divided for our two nations, and the Britain's sense it was two geographical divisions. And they left behind some problems. As I mentioned, they did not care of Pakistan's assets and the division that were to be given. Kashmir's issue have been given in the route, and General Gracie denied the order of Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and fully, you can say, supported Indian anarchy, and that was a turning point that you can say left Muslims and Pakistan disappointed in the spirit of the Britons. That Britons were known for their justice in thinking, but what they did in the roots of the separation, that they gave punishment to Pakistan and the Muslims, and Pakistan and India were divided on two-nation theory. And if both, you can say, the big groups were, the subcontinent were divided into two portions, then why Kashmiri have been left behind in this struggle of independence? And the spirit of the separation, Britons were to give right to attachment to the Pakistan and the Muslims, but they left them in the lurch and left them in the, you can say, such a piece of land that they are still struggling, and they are still, you can say, cursing to the Britons what they, you can say, put them into troubles right in the beginning. So, the idea of Pakistan was traveling from centuries to centuries at the two-nation theory, from Jamaluddin Afghani, then to Mujaddid al-Sani, Shah Waliullah, and then to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, then to Allama Iqbal, and then politically and administratively justified by Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was true champion of unity, later turned to be defending of the Muslims, that where there is division of vision, there would be no unity. Unity could be that all people can be put into a room for accommodation point of view, but vision will keep them separated, and they will not be as much united as the spirits need to be ideologically to be united. Once again, I am to fly back to the point that there was a starvation of vision, and at one end, religious figures were rightfully claiming and protesting that Islamization should be here in Pakistan, and the liberal laws or secular law mean the judicial system is being run on British law instead Muslim law, the Sharia law, and they tried to, you can say, revolutionize the land and try to, you can say, try to go for a blood revolution so that Islam could come into state, and state should own Islam and should go for its application at the larger and all areas of the society. So it was 1977 period when this movement came at the height, and the Muslim move makers were about to make Islamization in Pakistan. General Ziaul Haq took over to Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who was international designer also. He was making all the Islamic countries to come at one age and would stand for one cause of Islam's prosperity and peaceful message to be transmitted. Though he was fighting at two fronts, inside and outside. Inside, Islamic militants or Islamic moves took start in, and at the international level, you can say America started directing his designs that it could cause a loss of the western larger section of the countries after Muslim Ummah's voice if is arisen. So he has been taken over, and Ziaul Haq came into power, and he gave a cleric type of religion. He was not a true, you can say, religious figure, because he was trained on the military grounds, and military men can't be expected as true representative, because their job is to defend the borders, and that is also a part of religion, and that is also in itself is a religion, how to defend, and why not to defend the borders, because saving the borders of the land is also the true spirit. But as far as the application of Islam and to be a true Muslim and a balanced Muslim and a practical Muslim, having all the social qualities and features, and going to the all segments of the societies, knowing all of the public's problems, that is not the capacity of a military person, because they are trained and skilled on how to destroy the enemy and how to outshine and excel the opponents at the international levels. The fights, the war goes on, how to defend the land. Though they have a very strong character and discipline, but the application and how to be the true Muslims, we can't expect of them. But when we talk about Ziaul Haq, he, though Marde Momin, Marde Haq, Ziaul Haq kind of proclamation came in the wave of Afghanistan and Russian war, and he appeared to be a Marde Momin of Allama Muhammad Iqbal. The way he strengthened Pakistan inside and outside France. Inside made the defense very stronger, no doubt about. And even he played some tricks upon America and the other countries to make its own defense a stronger one. This is a patriotic and a very strong character and character-minded person appears here, and we can't question him. But as far as Pakistan politics and Pakistan's democracies and Pakistan peoples, and particularly the civil societies, education and employment and infrastructure, roads and communication, telecommunication, transportation, and connecting the villages and the urbans. He does nothing. And he introduced Islam, a clerical kind of, mean how to punish the opposition in the cover of Islam, because democratic process was at the height, and Pakistan was getting good roots in the spirit of democracy, and people were getting somewhat aware of the how to be independent intellectually and physically from the foreign influence and from influence of other powers working against us. So when we go forward, and the ready passion and ambition and ready fuel that was to be consumed, and people were to give sacrifices for the implementation of Islam in Pakistan, their ready, you can say, Islamic emotions have been transmitted and transformed into Afghanistan war theatre. At that time, it was, I think, Daud Shah's government in Afghanistan, and before I am to talk on present scenario, I would talk of that period when Bhutto was overtaken and Ziaullah came into power, and then the war theatre took start in Afghanistan. You know very well that capitalism and communism have always been the two jealous markers, and Chelsea mark was there in their roots, जिसे आप कहते हैं कि कुटी में पड़ी हुई थी उनकी. These two clashing philosophies have always been fighting against with their supporters. America was, you can say, representing the capitalist bloc, and Russia and China, like they were representing socialism and communism. And communists were basically godless beings, and they were the godless creatures, those who do not or did not believe in the supernatural agency, that someone is the super being that is driving the universe and running the affairs of the universe, and somewhat hidden mind is there. So communism was spreading in Asian countries in a very speedy way, and the way the communism from Russia, as in 1917 Russian Revolution came, based on Karl Marx's theory of the clash of classes that has been always in the human race, that caused equality of the opportunities and equality of the distribution of the resources, that only commune could make the availability of all fundamental and basic rights, and people, when are provided with the basic rights, they need nothing more than that. They were not aware of any ideology's role or any vision or any religion is there that should also be taken care of in their lives. So that revolution in 1917 in Russia, that there you can say a country becomes the propagator and the champion of the socialist, communist, Karl Marx representative theory, and the champion and the figures. So that was 1917, and Now it was 1977, 78 and 79. Russia was for a longer period before 1979, and in the period of Daud Shah, they have been giving some assistance and support to some sections of the tribes in subcontinent, and they were making them their arsenals or weapons to get root in Afghanistan. And the designs was that at one hand, three of the believers, mean the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims, their future and the future of the religions were under stake and under challenge. And you know well that the religious people are largely present in Asia, and largely they are in Gulf countries like Saudi and Arab and Ajam. They are around 57 and 60 countries at the present and what at that time. So communism was rapidly flying to the roofs to get into different Islamic countries, and on the dint of their philosophy, socialist philosophy, making people, you can say, aware of their rights and get them rise against capitalists, that capitalists are exploited, and socialists could give them the voice to them and to bread and butter to them, and could carry their survival, and there would be no question of their existence, and they would be providing all facilities when they will step into this scenic world of paradise of bread and butter, and they will be having no problem. But they were running all this philosophy on the labor based grounds. Intellect was not working there, religion was not working there. Their only focus was to give bread and butter, and they were thinking that bread and butter is the all outcome of our desires and demands coming into existence. All our need is bread and butter. No religion, no other dogma or philosophy or vision or ideology could work on in life. So communism, that was appearing to be an open challenge and open, you can say, attack, and appearing on the scene of the world in a so heighty manner. And there was a time when, you can say, America and Russia's the war was there, war at science and technology, and at the world of discoveries, and at the world of political envisioning, though both claim that we are the champion of the true representation for the living beings in the world. And both blocs were fighting against each other, and Russia used to deliver a threat that I could, you can say, demolish the whole New York within 2 minutes. And in response, America delivers the threat that I can demolish and annihilate Moscow in 2 minutes. You can imagine the power and rating and strength of the both countries and both superpowers. And these were the two superpowers about whom in 1930, in the book of Conquest of Happiness, Bertrand Russell warned the world that if these two, mean capitalist and socialist, Russia and America, out of these two, one, you can say, one platform or one champion of some heights designs is not ended, there would be the whole world will be at the flash of to be annihilated from the face of earth. And the countries could be at the mercy of these two countries. Whenever these two countries will collide to each other, the peace of minds of the whole of the world will be at the mercy of these two countries and two big philosophies of capitalist and socialist. And it would be very difficult how to make the rest of the world to think in a safer way, and that their fear of the future's destruction and demolition and deterioration could be ended. So that was 1930 that I refer apprehension and reservation that showed by Bertrand Russell, the most famous political vision philosopher of the modern age, who gave ways to the modern world. And I am also a fan of him. I have studied on him, I made research on him, and defended at the many of the areas that he was atheist or he has no belief in the department of the religion. But I proved him that he didn't, you can say, hit at the religion, rather he hit at the religious characters, that there was a paradoxical mentalities or statement coming from the people in religion government, that what the religion says and what the followers are doing. So followers are only believer in religion. When the followers become only believer in religion, it becomes only politics. When the followers become true representative of the religion, then they become the religious figures. So if you only believe in religion but you do not follow it, it means you are going with political religion. You are not going with the true spirit of religion, that is to protect the rights of the people, and you become a God-fearing person. And when you are the governor of the state or the in the ruling class, you do not sleep rightfully, have rest rightfully, and you go for the betterment of the land and its inhabitants. So the threat of the communism and socialism and godless society was spreading rapidly, and it was slowly and gradually getting roots in Afghanistan. And after the designs of Russia were there, that after occupying Afghanistan, we will occupy Pakistan, and through the route of Pakistan, we will step into the Gulf countries, and Gulf countries will be occupied, and the sacred land of Makkah and Medina could be taken under attack and could be taken under challenge. And if Islam or some the believers were to be taken under challenge, then it become open challenge, and it become the question of existence of the believers, how we are to save our belief, because a person without belief is just you can say a spiritless thing, nothing. They are just mud and just part of quagmire. They are nothing. When you have no belief, then you are only material being, and you have just right to go after the bread and butter. No more designs, or no more, you can say, vision is there. So it becomes the question of integrity and sanctity and existence, that believers should be saved after all, because the way the way the revolution of communism and socialism teachings are leaving impact on the minds of the people, it is very, very you can say necessary to take steps. You could say in the same way, in the subcontinent, in the era of 1917, when you can say 1914 and 1918, First World War fought, And behind that, there was also capitalist designs to save the, you can say, world from communism and socialism, because the campaign and the movement has taken roots in the Russia in First World War of the socialism. Though alliance was there, but in the background there was somewhat fear going on how to meet with the things in question. So the question of integrity and sanctity and the survival was there as to how we are to save our beliefs, and then you can say the three believers mean Jews and Christians and Muslim seated together somewhere in the peace of the world, that how we are to take stock against the Russians invasion that is coming across the board. So three believers got together, mean Muslims, Christians and Jews got together, how the threat of communism could be weeded out. So in 1979, Russia divide of the awareness and having the knowledge what's international designs are coming against them. Means the more you are becoming knowledgeable and aware, the more you are lacking somewhere where you can't reach out, because no one is God, that He will be omnipresent and encompassing each and every part of the world under eyes that could be watched and could be detected out. It's a human being and they lack faculties to reach out the true intricacies and subtleties of the world in its operation. So in 1979 and 80 around, as a revolution, Islamic revolution came in Iran under the domain and the command of Imam Khomeini, and in the same period Russians stepped into Afghanistan in the era of Dahoud Shah, and our, you can say, three believers made a plan that how a power could be called or could be trapped into, so that it could step into the Afghanistan, and we should make them pay there or hunt there. And for that, you can say Afghanistan's internal mean restlessness and internal problems have been created, so that when the stronger neighbor will come to know that very easy easy prey is there, why not we should go and occupy it, and our hidden designs that we are to step into the Afghanistan and then to Pakistan, and through the route to Pakistan they were chasing down the hot water, mean oil resources and reservoir were to be controlled, and it was very big question. So slowly and gradually they started bombing, Russians started shelling on the peaceful villages of Afghanistan, and Afghanis mean the fighters, the Mujahideens were having only at that time just Kalashnikov, and Russian helicopters used to come into into Afghanistan, and they make shelling, though they throw the bullets onto the belly of helicopters, but just after producing a bit voice, bullets returned to the base where from they were, you can say, fired, but nothing effect was there. And, and Russia kept on shelling and shelling and shelling. And around it was, 6 months, the Afghanis gave the lives and offered the sacrifices and for the mission of Islam. They stood strong and solid at the high character that after all, we are to fight for our existence, we are to fight for our survival, and we are to go for the future of Islam to be saved. But Russians were Russian, and they have some international designs and international glamoring there. They were to do what they destined to or designed to. Then you can say some as I studied many of the political chambers and political studies and war studies, war strategies, defense strategies. The believers have been given an idea that we need such a weapon that we could primarily target the helicopters that are coming at a very low flight, and they are just shelling on and killing the innocent people of Afghanistan and leaving dead bodies behind. And they are dancing on our dead bodies, and they are enjoying of what they are doing. They are so arrogant and so, you can say, at the height of pride, that they are taking Afghanis as very simple leaves of the leaves of the trees falling on the ground and waiting for where from the wind will come and will take away them. It was very weaker and slim, you can say, state of the affair for the Afghanis. But when some powers saw them, that around 6 months they have single-handedly fought well, and they are fearless. And if they are, you can say, armored, why not we should help them out, and we could get the other power into trap, and could be trapped and could be located, could be demolished and could be eliminated from the face of the philosophies world, like communism, socialism, or whatever the trash philosophies were there. But designs were the international ones. The superpowers have always made philosophy as a cover